Hey guys, today I'm gonna share a video of a potential fix for a Maytag dryer that sometimes turns on and sometimes does not, but will typically show you the error code F1, which is a motherboard error. So when I hit the button to try starting, what ends up happening is you hear it go and you'll get an error F01 like that. Sometimes if you fiddle around with the off button and on, and kind of change the settings around, you'll get it to go. But sometimes it won't, or sometimes it'll just start drying and then shut off mid-dry. So what we need to do is open up the dryer, pull out the motherboard, and there's a quick piece that we can put in there. There's a couple of quick fixes for your immediate needs, and sometimes you need to order something that'll take some time. So I'm just going to open this thing up, show you where the motherboard is, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I'm back here and I took the top off, and you just look here, here's the motherboard right there. What you want to do before unplugging this whole thing and taking it apart is make sure you snap a picture of it so you know how it goes back together. But it should be pretty easy. There's a couple guys that mention, trying to take it off just like this, but if you can, just take off the whole mount right there before you dismantle it. And I find it a little easier because then you don't have a risk of dropping some pins down in the bottom and having a hard time getting those things back. So I'm just gonna pull this thing off, unclip all these little clips, and get ourselves access to the piece that needs to be replaced on the motherboard. Alright, so once you've unclipped this thing, you're going to have to undo that little screw there on that side, and that's the one you don't want to drop down the drum. Alright, but then you'll also see that these little plastic sliders need to come out of the metal. So there's a little clip on the bottom. You just push on that clip to slide it out. So it goes into the clips that correspond into the metal frame there. So what we're going to do is open this thing up right there, and here you have your motherboard, and the part that is gone out for me is this guy right here. And if we pull out the motherboard and look there, you're probably going to see that one of the pins has been fried, which is causing the cycle to fail. So all you'll need to do is push on these little pins around the outside of the motherboard to pop it out, and then we'll take a look at what the problem is. Alright, so I've pulled out the motherboard now, and you can see this part here. If I end up flipping the back side, you can see that pin has been blown out. So one of the quick fixes that you can do is just solder on top of that to kind of reconnect it. And that might let you use your dryer for a little bit longer, but what will eventually happen is it'll just fry it out again, and then you'll have a bad connection and it won't work. So if you want to save yourself the time, for about $5 to $10, you can reorder that piece, which is what I did. I ordered it on eBay, and you can see the code right there for that piece. You can find the replacement part. And what we're going to do is we're going to solder out that piece by melting those little points that are the ones that are connected to that piece, and then soldering on the new piece. So we're going to try to do that now. So I got my replacement part in the mail. This is it right here. It has a slightly different code, but it says that it is compatible with it. So I just kind of line it up there. Looks like it should fit. It has the same 4 pins on the bottom. So what I'll do is I'll look at the bottom of my motherboard here, and I'm just gonna mark off the spots that need to be soldered out. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm gonna take my soldering gun and my little pump. I'm gonna melt out those points so that way I can release that old part, and then I'm going to put in the new one and solder that one in, so that way you have your broken part repaired. So I've soldered out the busted piece, and as you can see here on this one that came out, it's quite damaged and burnt up on that corner there. So that's the pin that's going to cause you problems if you just solder on top and try to fix the connection. So you can see there, I'm going to have to clean up the pins a little bit because some of the solder is still in there. And then I'm going to be putting in the new part there, put in some new solder, and hopefully the dryer is good to go after that. As you can see on the other side, that pin was totally blackened out, so we'll have to get out that solder. So I've cleaned up the board and soldered on the new pieces. Not too bad. Just doesn't have to be beautiful, just make sure the connections are nice and the piece is on tight. And if you look on the back side, we have the new piece into the motherboard. So we'll clip this thing all back together and hopefully it's good to go. So here's the moment of truth. I've put in the motherboard with the new piece in there and all clipped together. So let's turn it on, give her a go, and she's running again. Alright, we'll try to switch it up, go over to time dry, see if that works as well, and hopefully good as no. I'll run it for a little while before posting it, but I do hope that this video helped you fix your dryer and get your clothes nice and dry. Alright, thanks everyone. Bye.